Welcome, and please be seated. The trustees and faculty of Wheaton College are now declared convened. Together with members of the class of 2018, their families, friends, honored guests, and alumni on the occasion of the 183rd graduation exercises for the conferring of degrees. May this indeed be a memorable occasion for everyone. Rabbi and Professor of Religion, Jonathan Brumberg Krause, will now offer the invocation. Please rise and remain standing after the invocation for the singing of the Wheaton hymn. Enjoy.
Welcome, graduates, family, friends, alumni, staff, and faculty. Let me begin with some lines written by graduating senior religion major and poet Kaylee Grogan. Thinking about graduation, she asked me through the wreckage of my own imagination, getting anxious about big life transitions. I'm not anxious, I'm dying. Rites of passage, like graduation, are fraught crossings of boundaries from one space-time to another. Thus, in my Jewish tradition, we recite a special separation prayer, Havdalah, to mark the end of the Sabbath and the start of a festival. Like for Shavuot, the time for the gift of our Torah, that is, teaching, that happens tonight, that celebrates our sacred ambivalence about boundaries. And so, blessed are you, Spirit of the world, who separates between holy and ordinary, between our fear of the unknown ahead of us and our comfort in what we have come to know, between light and dark, to respect the differences between black and white, and all the shades that make up the vibrant rainbow of our community, to know not to trespass over them and to know when to bridge them, between the seventh day of rest and the 6 days of work, because all work and no rest or play harms our bodies and souls. You separate between Sabbath holiness and the holiness of festivals, Ramadan Mubarak, because there are many kinds of times and things that elevate us, of which we're acutely aware today. You make us holy through your holiness, and we are elevated through our relationships with the world, family, friends, teachers, companions, neighbors, significant human and other than human persons with whom we're celebrating today. Blessed are you, Spirit of the world, who separates and teaches us to distinguish between different kinds of holiness, ben kodesh lekodesh. So let's rejoice, first in Hebrew and then in an English version inspired by the words of my teacher, mentor, and friend, Vereen Parnell. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Our praise to you, Spirit of good endings and better beginnings, of homecomings and of life launchings, whose name is also wisdom, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this time. Amen.
Thank you, JBK. Now let me call on Shicho Young to lead us in the singing of the Wheaton hymn. Shicho.
Praise
Thank you, Shicho. You may be seated. Good morning, and let me add my welcome to the 183rd commencement of Wheaton College. I'd like to extend greetings to our honored guests here on the stage and to family and friends who have joined us for this joyful occasion, and most especially to you, the class of 2018. Congratulations. You are an amazing group. You've learned a lot, you have grown a lot, and you have accomplished great things over the past 4 years. Just think of all that you have done on the way to this moment. The late nights in the library and the early morning classes, making friends from across the country and around the world, joining and leading so many campus organizations, contributing to group projects and writing research papers, exploring your interests through internships and community service, developing senior capstone projects, discovering new ideas and interests. So much has happened to you, and so much has happened here because of you. We are here to celebrate your achievements and the successful completion of your undergraduate career. But as the name of this ceremony indicates, we're also celebrating the beginning of a new stage in your intellectual journey, and all that you will learn and do, and the incredible impact you will have on the world in the years to come. This is also a celebration of community. There are many people who have worked with you and for you to make this day possible. First, your parents and families whose love and support helped you to get to this moment. What do you say, members of the class of 2018? Join me in thanking your families. To our alumni and alumni, we are glad you are here. I want to especially acknowledge the members of the class of 1953 who are celebrating their 65th reunion together. Congratulations, 1953. Altogether, nearly 500 alumni are on campus for commencement and reunion. You hail from 30 states and a number of countries, from the United Kingdom and Estonia to Hong Kong. Your many accomplishments in the world exemplify the breadth and talent of the Wheaton community. To Wheaton's amazing faculty, your energy, enthusiasm, and expertise make all the difference for our students. Thank you. Let's hear it for them. Wheaton's ability to offer a great liberal arts education begins with you, dedicated teachers and renowned scholars, scientists, performers, and artists. I want to especially thank 4 professors who are also graduating this year after distinguished teaching careers. John Kreitzer, Professor of Biology, Alida Pastor-Landis, Professor of Chemistry, William McPherson, Assistant Professor of Music and College Organist, Guy Urban, Associate Professor of Music. If any of the 4 of you have not left and retired already, please stand and be recognized. So. Between those 4, almost 160 years of service to this institution. Amazing. I also want to congratulate members of the faculty who received major honors and achieved significant milestones this year. First of all, Barbara Darling, Assistant Professor of Religion, who is honored with the Faculty Appreciation Award by the senior class. Congratulations and well-deserved. Barbara. Ali Reza Shamali, Associate Professor of Political Science. All right, Ali Reza, who has been appointed to hold the Jane E. Ruby Chair in Humanities and Social Sciences. Michael Berg, Nancy Evans, and Gabriela Torres, each of whom has been appointed and promoted to full professor. Congratulations to all of you. To Wheaton staff, your contribution to our students' education are many and varied, from the advice and support you offer students to the myriad tasks you perform to maintain this campus as a vibrant learning community. Thank you to our staff. To the class of 2018, soon you will walk across the stage, diploma in hand, ready for new adventures. You will take with you all the knowledge and the skills and the perspective that you have earned in the past 4 years, from studio art and history and business to biology, psychology and economics, from all of the different areas we focus on here. And you are headed to exciting new places, outstanding jobs, top graduate schools, public service, and world travel. I know you will do great things just as you have done here. It's been my privilege and pleasure to watch you in action, improving campus life in so many ways. Along those lines, I want to take a moment to acknowledge how generous you have been with your time and with your philanthropy. More than half of your class has contributed to the senior class gift. Thanks for that, and especially to senior class gift co-chairs, Ariel Klopsis and Henry Lewis, right here in the front, who have led the way. Today, class of 2018, your families and friends, join us in celebrating all that you have achieved, as well as all that you can and will do in the future. Bravo. Congratulations. It's now my great privilege and pleasure to introduce your student speaker today, the president of the class of 2018. You know him as AK, AKA da-da-da-da. But for those of you who are just meeting him for the first time, it's my pleasure to call on President of the Senior Class, Akrofi Akotia, for his greetings.
Good morning. First off, I would like to welcome everyone here, my class, families, alums, faculty, staff, everyone. And before I start, disclaimer, I kind of lost my voice a little bit. So, today, May 19th, 2018, is the day we all here from this institution graduate. It's been a journey, hasn't it? And oftentimes, we find that we end one journey to begin another. 2 words, matriculation and commencement. Words that describe very distinct times of our lives and define new beginnings. On August 21st, 2014, I packed my entire closet and hopped in a car from New York City to Norton into a new life. I mean, Norton of all places. Sorry, Norton. There was excitement, fear, and many responsibilities awaited. And even now, I feel the same. I mean, student loans are coming our way, so we're gonna have to handle that. These past 4 years have been filled with laughs, hurt, pain, sometimes physical. I mean, I've seen some of you break a bunch of things. So many memories, successes and failures. We have made some of the best friends we will ever know and gained connections, knowledge, and most of all, experience. And those experiences, whether good or bad, have helped us grow. From that, I can say we've grown a little wiser and more ready for what comes next. So the dreaded question of every college senior, what are you going to do next? Some of us here, bestowed with grace, do know what we are going to be doing next, and some of us are still in that endless cycle of searching and applying. But for all of us, I have one suggestion. Well, many suggestions. Let's do the things that we're afraid of. Let's jump into our goals wholeheartedly. And if we fail, it's okay. We'll take time to stop, reflect, and understand what our actions mean for ourselves and those around us. The world is real. The world is really real. We are beginning our path through a competitive and challenging world. And it will be tough at times, but let's remember the things that we have. Great minds, a multitude of skills, and friends and family that care about us. And look around. These people are here for us. Our family is here for us. Because they care about us. Your friends around you, your professors, the people up here, and all the faces that I see here care about us. And for my people of color, for the culture, hold it down. You feel me? Yeah. But one thing for all of us to keep in mind is to continue to be fearless and dare to be different. And I know that my class, the class of 2018, will make a mark on this earth. So I was asked to do this by many people. And I have to say this one time for the last time. I'm a Crofia Kotia, AKA AK, AKA the Ghana boy. No a Ghana boy, but the Ghana boy. It has been an honor to serve as your class president. And on to the next adventure. Thank you.
Always styling. Thank you, AK. We shall now proceed to the conferring of honorary degrees. First, I'd like to call upon Trustee Wyneva Johnson, class of 71, to now present Callie Crossley for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
We enjoy incredible access to more information than ever before, but we struggle to find clarity and certainty in the torrent of opinions made possible by today's digital media. You, Callie Crossley, play a critical role in highlighting important ideas and diverse perspectives, helping us to hear over the din. Our democracy depends upon the work that you do. After earning a bachelor's degree in English from Wellesley College, you began a career in broadcast journalism, in which your reporting has given a voice to communities of color and others who are often overlooked. You tell their stories with insight and compassion, and you help your audience make connections between local and global trends and history and current events. Your career has included being a producer on ABC News 2020 and the Emmy-winning documentary series, Eyes on the Prize, America's Civil Rights Years, among many other roles. Today, you enrich our understanding of the world, and you enrich the greater Boston community as the host of WGHBH Radio's Under the Radar with Callie Crossley, and a weekly commentator on the radio station's Morning Edition. As a regular panelist on WGBH Television's Beat the Press, as a frequent host of its long-standing, long-running program, Basic Black, and as a regular guest of Fox 25 Boston's morning show. Naturally, nationally, you contribute to programs on CNN, PBS, and other networks. For all of these accomplishments, for the stories you've told and continue to share, for the ways you promote better, more inclusive journalism, and for being a mentor and inspiration to the next generation of journalists. Callie Crossley, we present you with this honorary Doctor of Humane Letters.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters and admit you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Welcome to Wheaton.
Thank you. I am delighted to receive this great honor from Wheaton College. I feel right at home in a place which celebrates a liberal arts education and whose history is rooted in the education of women. And were my parents here to see it, they would get a kick out of finding out that I'm being honored for talking. I don't know how many times they sighed as they heard from my elementary school teachers, Callie is friendly and courteous, but she talks a lot. I must have asked thousands of questions in my career as a broadcast journalist, and I'm always searching for the one that will open up the story from the interviewee. And a few years ago, I was interviewing a group of highly credentialed women who were in public service, and I asked them for the one thing that they could remember that without their specific intervention, it would not have happened. And they thought, and each of them, now remember these are big-time women with many, many accomplishments, went back to the early days of their career and a small hands-on action that made a victory possible. And it reminds me always that we should not dismiss the early days of what we do to get our voices out there and of our contribution, and that we each have a unique contribution to make that with only our contribution can make some things happen. So college is the place to find your voice, to figure out who you are and who you are in the world. But I've come to realize that finding your voice is not the same as using your voice. Using your talents for something bigger than yourself in service to your family, to your community, to your nation. Those of you who've had the privilege of this fine education have been trained to take up leadership roles. How will you use your voice? When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful, says Pakistani activist Malala Yousafzai, the young woman who was shot in the head by the Taliban because she dared to advocate for girls' education. Today, she is the youngest Nobel Prize winner, is studying at Oxford, and what's more important, more girls are getting an education because of her singular efforts. Obviously, she's one in a million, a global phenomenon on a world stage, but there is plenty of room for each of us to make a mark. I have chosen to tell the stories of the ones who can't speak for themselves. These stories help broaden the perspectives of people who don't know or don't know any better, simply because of their lack of exposure. And I have chosen to be the one in the room willing to tell the uncomfortable truth out loud. There are any number of extremely talented broadcast journalists who are my contemporaries, but when I do my work, I remind myself that nobody can offer my perspective the way that I can, and nobody else has your voice either. I can't wait to hear what you have to say out in the world. Thank you so much for this honor, and congratulations, class of 2018.
Trustee Cheryl Vidot, class of 74, will now present Rose Ella Weaver, class of 73, for the honorary degree Doctor of Fine Arts.
The power of the artist comes not from merely reflecting life, but in revealing it. You, Rose Weaver, are an artist. In your works as author, actor, and performer, we find the human condition in all its wonder, heartache, humor, and grace. You came to Wheaton and discovered a passion for the performing arts while studying English. After graduation, you won an acting fellowship with Trinity Repertory Theater in Providence. The company's stage not only became your home for 2 decades, but also helped you launch a career in film and television, including roles in The Accused, opposite Jodie Foster, In the Heat of the Night with Carol O'Connor, The Young and the Restless, and Poetic Justice. You received the 2000 Pell Award for Excellence in the Arts, along with Stephen Sondheim and John Updike, for your outstanding work as a performer. Your ability to assume your characters is matched only by your creativity and courage as a storyteller. Your award-winning plays tackle challenging subjects such as aging and Alzheimer's disease. They acknowledge pain while celebrating the spirit to thrive in difficult times. As Maya Angelou would say, with some passion, compassion, humor, and style. The generosity that informs your writing also shows through in your performance as a jazz vocalist and in your work as an educator. The art that you make illuminates the human experience in ways that honor the dignity of each individual, and we are enriched by your artistry, your compassion, and your insight. It is our great honor to present you, Rose Weaver, with this honorary Doctor of Fine Arts.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereupon confer upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Fine Arts and admit you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Welcome to Wheaton, Part 2.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Wheaties. One and all. Thank you for this honor. I grew up in the woods of Georgia. At the age of 7 years old, I almost drowned in the lake when my grandmother let go of me in the water. Kick your legs! Move your arms, Rose! She shouted to me. I kicked as hard as I could, but I went under like a heavy rock, swallowing tons of lake along the way. I was afraid of drowning for the rest of my young life. What a relief it was to come here to this beautiful women's college in New England, 1969, and know that I would never have to fear drowning again. Of course, I didn't know that I would have to pass a swimming test in order to graduate. The day I went to the pool to take the test, I was deathly afraid. I probably would not have applied here if I had known I would have to pass a swimming test. The teacher told me to jump into the deep end. She said it 3 times. That was the beginning of the test, to dog paddle. As soon as I found the courage to jump in, I quickly went down. I panicked because I knew I was going to die. Wide-eyed, I hit the bottom of the pool. My legs crouched up and I sprang like a frog as hard as I could, flapping my arms, trying to get to the surface. It would have been fine if it was a flying test, but this was a swimming test. I finally made it back to the surface and I gasped for air. My right arm now had a terrible cramp. I grabbed the stick that the teacher was holding out with her left hand. I grabbed it with my left hand, and she pulled me over to the edge of the pool. Trembling with fear, I thought for sure, having been so traumatized, she would immediately see no hope and excuse me. But she looked down into my eyes with a stern face and said, "No one graduates from Wheaton College without passing the swimming test." I spent the next 4 years learning every stroke imaginable. The side stroke, the frog, the backstroke, floating on my back. By senior year, I calmly passed the required swimming test. I would be able to graduate from Wheaton after all, to become a Wheatie myself. The lesson in this? It turns out I wasn't afraid of swimming after all. I was afraid of sinking and drowning. With so many odds already against me, I was afraid of sinking and drowning. Every time you get that sinking feeling, just realize that what you really need to do is learn how to stay afloat so you can swim unafraid with yourself, with yourselves, and with all kinds of people in win-win ways. You got that? You got it? Okay then, see you in the pool.
We are so glad you passed the swimming test. This is an infrequent occurrence, but I would like to give a student the honor of introducing our next honorary degree recipient. I would like to call upon Class of 2018 member Tyler Butler to to present Senator George Mitchell for the honorary degree Doctor of Laws. Tyler.
Hello, all. At a time when the national conversation is fraught with conflict and the political divide seems uncrossable, being able to listen well with patience and humility is invaluable. You, George Mitchell, have built a successful career on the values serving your country and citizens around the globe by listening to people speak and helping create solutions. We recognize you today for that service and for the lesson we can learn from your experiences. After earning a bachelor's degree from Bowdoin College in your home state of Maine, followed by a law degree from Georgetown University, you worked as a trial lawyer, federal judge, and executive assistant to U.S. Senator Edmund Muskie, whose seat you later filled, first by appointment, then by election. You served 15 years in the Senate, where you have said you've developed these keen listening skills, including 6 years as majority leader, and you were instrumental in the passage of several pieces of landmark legislation. Your reputation as an artful negotiator has earned you a seat in historic talks aimed at finding common ground amid conflict, first in Northern Ireland, and then in the Middle East. You've been called upon again and again because of your aptitude for thoughtfulness, honest investigation, and deliberation. In addition, for your many years of public service, you have served in leadership roles with a variety of businesses and organizations. For your impressive career in public service, law, and business, and for your skill at making people feel heard and offering balanced insight, George Mitchell, we present you with this honorary Doctors of Law.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Laws, and admit you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
President Hanno, to the graduates, families, staff, guests, it's a great honor for me to be here at Wheaton College and to receive this honorary degree in the distinguished company of Callie Crosley and Rose Weaver. This is a great institution which has contributed much to the community, to the state, and to the nation. Commencement is a time to discuss values, and I've been at many, many commencements, so I know that for most of you right now, the highest value is brevity. Through most of the minds seated here, how long is he going to talk is the principal question. So I want to begin by assuring you that I hope to stop speaking before you stop listening. The second value I will mention to the graduates is self-confidence. How to strike the right balance between believing in yourself and not taking yourself too seriously. I want to tell a story about that. I speak so often that for me, frankly, the highlight of the day is the introduction. And I want to thank Tyler for that wonderful introduction. It's always a pleasure to hear nice things said about yourself, especially in front of a large group of mostly strangers. The risk, of course, is if you hear that stuff too often, you might begin to believe it. And that's dangerous for your mental health. So I like to begin with a story about introductions and an occasion on which I was brought back down to earth. I spent 5 years working on the peace process in Northern Ireland, and when my work was complete, I returned to my home in Maine and wrote a book about my experience. When it was published, I traveled the country on a book promotion tour. I received a very large number of invitations, and in that process, I learned the interesting fact that in the United States, there are more Irish American organizations than there are Irish Americans. Every one of them invited me to come. I couldn't go to all, but I did go to many, and as I traveled the country speaking to these groups of Irish Americans, there developed among them an informal competition as to who could give the longest, most fantastic, often truly ridiculous introductions of me. The proper reaction, of course, would have been for me to show some humility, to ask them to keep it short, but I had an improper reaction. I loved it. I encouraged it. I scolded them when they left something out. And so by the time I got to the last stop on this book tour, it was in Stamford, Connecticut, I was overly impressed with myself. And as I entered the building where the event was being held that evening, the first person I encountered was an elderly woman who rushed up to me, very nervous and excited, shook my hand vigorously, spent several minutes praising me, and then she said, I don't live anywhere near here. I drove 3 hours across the entire state of Connecticut just to come here to tell you how much I admire you and ask you, please, would you autograph my poster? She had a poster with a big photograph on it. She handed it to me with a pen. I looked at it. I said, I'm very happy to sign your poster, but before I do, I think there's something I must tell you. She said, what is it? I said, I'm not Henry Kissinger. It was a picture of Kissinger. She said, you're not? Well, who are you anyway? And when I told her, she said, why, that's just terrible. She said, I drove 3 hours to meet a great man, and all I've got is a nobody like you. I said, I'm sorry you feel so bad. I wish there's something I could do to make you feel better. And after a moment, she said, well, there is. When I asked what it was, she leaned forward, I leaned forward. We were sort of in a conspiratorial crouch. And she said, nobody will ever know the difference. She said, would you mind signing Henry Kissinger's name to my poster? So I did. And it's still hanging today in her living room wall in Eastern Connecticut, a daily reminder to me not to take too seriously all of these nice words. Well, let me speak seriously about you, our country, and your future. More than 2 centuries ago, our founding fathers created a revolution on the soil of North America and in the world of ideas. They took the best of ancient Greek democracy and of the age of reason in Europe, and they created a new system and a new spirit. Their ideals are now valued worldwide. The collapse of communism and the triumph of democracy were major events in the 20th century. As a result, American power is ascendant in the world. Power is clearly important, and we must be prepared to use it, including military force, where necessary and appropriate. But the real strength of America is in our ideals. They're not easily summarized, but they're set forth in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, and surely they include the sovereignty of the people, the primacy of individual liberty, an independent judicial system, the rule of law applied equally to every citizen and crucially to the government itself, and opportunity for every member of our society. Neither we nor anyone else should ever forget that the United States was a great nation long before it was a great military power or economic power. We recognize that all human beings and all human societies are imperfect. We are not always right, and we can never be perfectly consistent. Yet we can and must work harder and better to live up to our principles as individuals and as a nation. We're fortunate to be Americans, to live in a society which, despite our many and serious imperfections, is still, to me, the most free, the most just, the most open in all of human history. From that society, each of us receives many benefits. With benefits come responsibilities. You graduates have the good fortune to receive an advanced education at a highly rated institution of higher education. You have an important role to play in preserving and improving our way of life. There's much for all of us to do. Each of you will have your own list of what you see as our society's challenges and of its failings. I'll mention just two that have been important to me throughout my public career. If you believe that every American child, regardless of background or family wealth, is entitled to a good education, you must oppose any action that would prevent them from having that opportunity. If you believe that every American is entitled to equal opportunity and equal justice, you must stand up and speak out against all forms of discrimination and injustice. Never forget that in the presence of evil, silence makes you an accomplice. The education you've received is important, even necessary, but it is not a guarantee of self-worth. What you do is important. How you do it is just as important. If you take pride in what you do, you will excel. If you do not take pride in what you do, you cannot excel. The philosopher John Gardner put it best when he wrote, "An excellent plumber is infinitely more admirable than an incompetent philosopher." The society which scorns excellence in plumbing because it is regarded as a humble activity and tolerates shoddiness in philosophy because it is an exalted activity will have neither good plumbing nor good philosophy, neither its pipes nor its theories will hold water. Before I entered the United States Senate, I had the privilege of serving as a federal judge. My favorite task was when I presided over what are called naturalization ceremonies. They're citizenship ceremonies, a group of people who'd come from all over the world and gone through the required procedures gathered before me in a federal courtroom in my home state of Maine. And there I administered to them the oath of allegiance to the United States, and by the power vested in me under our Constitution and law, I made them Americans. It was always a very emotional event for me because my mother was an immigrant, my father the orphaned son of immigrants. My parents had no education. My mother could not read or write. My father was a janitor at a local school. But because of their efforts and because of the openness of American society, I, their son, was able to get the education they never could have and was able to become the majority leader of the United States Senate. After every ceremony, I made it a point to speak personally with each new citizen, individually or in family groups. I asked them how they came, why they came. Their answers were as different as their countries of origin, but there were common themes, and they were best summarized by a young Asian man. When I asked why he came, he replied in slow and halting English, "I came because here in America, everybody has a chance." Think about the fact that a young man who'd been an American for 10 minutes and who could barely speak English was able to sum up the meaning of our country in a single sentence. America is freedom and opportunity, a society in which no one should be guaranteed success, but every single one should have a fair chance to succeed. I hope that each of you graduates leaves this ceremony with a sense of accomplishment and a burning desire to take your life to the next level. For most human beings, life is in essence a never-ending search for respect. First and most important, self-respect, and then the respect of others. There are many ways to achieve respect, but to me, none is more certain or rewarding than in service to others. You're very fortunate in the education you've received and the opportunities that will be available to you. It is inevitable and appropriate that you will devote much of your life to earning the income you need to support yourself and your family. You will want rewards, wealth, status, and many of you will get them. But the more things you acquire, the more evident it will become to you that there's much more to life. What you will find is that fulfillment in your life will not come from acquisition, not from leisure, not from self-indulgence. Real fulfillment in life will come from striving with all of your physical and spiritual might for a worthwhile objective that helps others and is larger than your self-interest. I hope that each of you graduates is fortunate enough to find such an objective in your life. Congratulations, good luck, may God bless each one of you.
Thank you so much, Senator George Mitchell. Certainly you inspire me, and I'm sure all of us. Just a side note, as I think about our 3 honorary degree recipients today and the breadth of things that they have achieved in their lives, you should have no doubt about the power of a liberal arts degree. Wellesley, Bowdoin, and Wheaton. And look at all they have achieved. We're proud to recognize you, and especially to our Wellesley and Bowdoin honorary degree recipients, we hope this degree gives you a chance at some success finally. So this is your time, but just a few things before that. So first of all, Becca Rosenthal. Where's Becca? Where's Becca? Stand up, Becca. Where are you? It's a good occasion for a birthday party, isn't it? Happy birthday, Becca. And another quick shout out, Chanel Irakosi. Where's Chanel? Chanel's family from Burundi could not be here because they don't have the freedom that we just talked about. And if they watch this, I want them to know that your family is with you right here, Chanel. This is your Wheaton family. In a minute, you're going to be walking across this stage, but before we do that, I'd like to take just a few minutes to reflect with you. Reflect with me on all that has happened in your lives since the last time that many of us in this room gathered in this very same place. Do you remember? August of 2014. You arrived on campus to begin your studies at Wheaton, and we held your welcoming ceremony in the same place. The weather gods made sure that you were back here. You were the first class that I had the pleasure of welcoming to Wheaton, and you've been the best. I looked back at a photo from that day, because you may remember I took a selfie up here. I won't embarrass you and do that again. But looking at those faces, many that I see out there right now, you looked pretty nervous. And so was I, quite honestly. I had no idea what journey was about to begin for me, and I'm guessing that many of you felt that same way. But what an amazing 4 years it's been. What makes any journey become so special is the discoveries you make along the way. Think of the discoveries you've made along this journey. For example, think back to your first winter here. We discovered together that there actually is such a thing as too many snow days. Because by the end of February, you were coming to me asking me not to cancel any more classes. I've never heard that happen before. And this year, who knew you could survive 48 hours without electricity? And as many of you, in the hunt to charge your phones, discovered power outlets in the library that none of us even knew were there. And I know just about all of you have had to discover new ways to make sure that the Norton water doesn't turn the whites in your laundry brown. At least I know I've had to struggle with that. And if you've figured it out, let me know, okay? But I know that you have had many other wonderful discoveries beyond these during your time here at Wheaton. I've seen what you've been able to do in the classroom with your artistic and performing talents and initiatives, through your leadership of so many campus programs and initiatives, through your athletic abilities. I've seen how you've grown, how you've changed, and most importantly, how you have changed Wheaton College. What I've discovered by working with you over the last 4 years is that you can achieve just about anything you set your mind to. Don't ever lose that tenacity and that focus. As you reflect, I hope you also realize that the discoveries you've made are so much sweeter and so much more rewarding because you did them together with some really, really special people. When you sat in this room 4 years ago, I'll bet you couldn't even imagine the friendships you would form and the ways that the other people in this room, everybody, the strangers you had just met, would become such a big part of your life. I can say that this was definitely true for me, but now I can tell you I will have so many fond memories of the journey we've had together over the last 4 years. Let me just share a few with you before you walk across the stage. Traveling with so many of you, so many I can't name them all, to both Ghana and Rwanda over the last 4 years has led to so many adventures and so many discoveries. For example, I never would have imagined that my roomie in Ghana, Josh LeBlanc, would actually snore louder than me. Nor that Kate McLaughlin would become my best friend for life after she traveled with me way back in her first year. Having dinner on my back porch with Omar and Mike Sadowski over the summer after their first year, and thinking these guys have big plans, and thinking they'll never do it, and then watching them over the last 3 years achieve their goals and so much more. Being amazed at how Charlotte Middleton can use her artistic talent to tell powerful and very personal stories that move us all. And Charlotte, thank you for the memorial to Cowduck that will make that legend live on Wheaton long after you leave campus. You have left your mark. Having my days brightened so many times by that smile, and not to mention that voice of James Wegner. Has anyone ever seen him? Has anyone ever seen him without a smile on his face? I never have. And speaking of uplifting, has anyone ever not had fun when Connor Mathis is around? He lights up the room with his presence, his wit, his talent, and his infectious enthusiasm. And while we're talking about energy, enthusiasm, and being uplifting, Khadija. Need I say more? Khadija. Realizing that only at Wheaton could you find someone who majors in both creative writing and literature and philosophy, while captaining the rugby team, getting a few concussions and things along the way, serving as editor of The Wire, and then who then earns a Watson Fellowship to study the meaning and culture of mixed martial arts in different places around the world. There's only one Lucas Rosa, and we are very proud. We are very proud and lucky that Lucas and his brother Francis are here at Wheaton. Thinking at first, when I met him, that Javon Ferguson didn't like me because he never had very much to say. But then discovering that Javon never has much to say, but that when he does, it speaks truth and is deep and powerful. Thank you, Javon. Sparring with Raven Fontaine, just because she's so competitive and it's so much fun to see her get all worked up. So easy to pick on her. Thanks, Raven, for representing us so well on the track right here. Over your 4 years here, we will all be rooting for you to add another All-American medal to your bling at the Outdoor Nationals. Yeah, go do it, Raven. Watching so many of you shape the campus by pursuing important issues and personal passions. For example, watching Hannah Zach raise awareness around accessibility on campus has truly been inspiring. Similarly, the countless hours that Rachel Barbarisi has spent on building an amazing Best Buds program. Thank you, Rachel. It's had a big impact on so many people on and off campus, including me. Seeing people like Nina Kenny, and yes, after those 7 emails you sent me, I will give you a shout out. Nina Kenny giving so much to our community and to members of the community by seemingly being at every single event with that camera around her neck. Nina, your skills are amazing, and for those of you in the audience, anyone looking to hire a great photographer, I'm her agent. Come see me. But also, Nina, I will miss all my Twitter exchanges with your mother, Lisa. I hope we keep corresponding that way. Oh, and speaking of mothers, Susan Fallon. Susan Fallon must be out there somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do if you don't call my office every week with some new idea or something. Pam in my office will really miss you. So, keep calling if you want. So, and we'll change the number. Talking about lives, careers, challenges, the future, and so many other topics with so many of you, but probably none more than Zelda Zhao. Yeah, Zelda. I am honored that all of you, but particularly you, Zelda, asked me for advice and counsel so many times, and I'm looking forward to many, many more conversations in the future. And finally, thinking about how disappointed I was when I said to Stephen Kimball, as he was transferring at the end of his first year, there will always be a place for you at Wheaton. Stay in touch. And then how excited I was when he emailed me less than 2 months after that and said, "Whoops, I made a mistake. Can I come back?" Stephen, I'm thrilled to see you walk across this stage, and I think of how much better Wheaton is because we left the door open and you came back. Don't any of you ever forget, the door is always open. Just like Stephen, you are about to leave, but this time it's going to be slightly different. All of you, including Stephen, will be taking with you a piece of paper that provides evidence of all you have achieved here. I hope that piece of paper will also serve as a reminder to you of all you have discovered during your time here and the many, many people who have been part of your journey. You have been a part of my entire Wheaton experience, and it has been an amazing 4 years for me. You have brought so much energy and light to this campus, and today you leave us for a world that now, more than ever, needs your energy and light. Go brighten the world like you have brightened this campus. You have brought us, you have brought me much joy. Thank you. And now for the moment which you have all been waiting for, we will move now to the conferring of earned degrees. Provost Renee White will present the candidates.
Will all the members of the class of 2018 please rise? President Hanno, as Provost of Wheaton College, I have the honor to present the members of the class of 2018 who have fulfilled to the satisfaction of the faculty all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Arts and declare you to be entitled to all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining to that degree. In testimony thereof, and as evidence that you have fulfilled all the requirements, the trustees grant you the diploma of Wheaton College. Please be seated. Congratulations. Now comes the fun part. Dean of Students Kate McCaffrey will now present the graduates. I'll meet you up here.
First, we will welcome the senior class officers. Akrofi Akatuya, President. Dolma Yangden, Vice President. Khadija Eden Nesta Dimuhedo, Secretary. James Joseph Gowan, Jr., Treasurer. Aria Lee Klopsis, Class Gift Co-Chair, magna cum laude. Henry Cable Lewis, Class Gift Co-Chair. The Student Government Association Executive Board members of the Class of 2018, Mary Yvonne Sasso, President. Maya June Benson, Vice President. Jasmine Renee Silva Jones, Programming Council Chair. Lindsay Beth Jackier, Education Council Chair, summa cum laude. Daniela Pena, Alumni Association Chair, cum laude. Syed Osama Ali Zaidi, Hearing Board Chair, magna cum laude. Victoria Page Renner, College Hearing Board Vice Chair. William Paul Funk, Senator. Graham Dillon Ford Johnson, Senator. Braden Bruce Marstaller, Senator. Audrey Akisi Marie Louise Aka. Elizabeth Alawafunmayo Alawatusin Akindole. Joshua Alabre. Beatrice Guathmi Alexander. Musa Muhammad Ali. Omar Abdulmalik Almuhajed. Adeze Chikadali Anayabanam. Tenzing Andrakstan. Fernando Antonio Carrasquero, cum laude. Aileen James Archambault. Riley Michael Ash. Nathaniel Garrett Ackerman, cum laude. James Caldwell Bailey. Lyman Jeffrey James Baldwin IV. Nicholas Balo. Rachel Starr Barbarisi, magna cum laude. Daniel J. Barber. Megan Allison Barnes, magna cum laude. Zachary Alejandro Berrigan. Maya Jintong Bartolata, magna cum laude. Emma Morrison Bolia, magna cum laude. Everett Michael Bertrand, magna cum laude. Evan Betzler. Chisamo Billy. Jillian Rose Bodro. Elena Susanna Bonatati, cum laude. Serafina Laura Bentompo. Madison Evelyn Borelli. Raymond Hain Bartolot. Lucas Bouquet. Abigail Constance Brewer. Elizabeth Katarina Broski. Madeline Clara Brucker. Liam Joseph Bruno. Kelsey Ann Buckley, cum laude. Alexander Aaron Bull. Graham John Bunt. Keith Roger Jude Burwood. James Tyler Butler. Patrick James Joseph Burns. Ryan Matthew Casal. Emre Chalebio. Alyssa Ann Salucci, cum laude. Marina Birgit Cirillo. Dalton James Chapman, magna cum laude. Kritika Chatterjee. Samantha Lauren Shavs. Luis Chavez. Yilen Chen, magna cum laude. Sarah Peyton Chin, magna cum laude. Lisa Elaine Cicchetti, magna cum laude. Michael Philip Clark. Rochelle Joyce Clark, cum laude. Katie Lynn Clay McBee. Grace Ann Connaughton. Maite Contreras Caro. Matthew Arnold Cook. Michaela Ann Coombs, magna cum laude. Liza Catherine Cooney. Carly Kathleen Costello. Allison Annette Cox, cum laude. Lauren Elms Cressy, summa cum laude. Katriana Lynn Cronin. Elizabeth Maureen Crowley. Emily Rebecca Cuthbertson. Anton Salim Debabane, cum laude. Amelia Rose Makara Demko. Catherine Jane Dennis, summa cum laude. Mackenzie Maddock DeWitt. Ariana Christine Dilios. Choning Zangmo Dorji, cum laude. Taline Nektar Dursunyan. Jonathan Scott Dunnett. Catherine Elizabeth Ebsary. Jennifer Colleen Elwell, cum laude. Abigail Ann Epplett, summa cum laude. Eliza Danielle Epstein. William Uem Atuk. Shahed Fahum, magna cum laude. Joseph Redmond Fallon IV. Yao Hong Fan. Javon Carlvin Ferguson. Margaret Doris Field, cum laude. Heather Ann Fisher. Ryan Robert Fogarty. Raven Bryce Fontaine. Cadence Gabrielle Fout, magna cum laude. Anna Rose French, magna cum laude. Lucy Charlotte Fry, magna cum laude. Terrell Ann Fritz. Brady Thomas Furden. Benjamin Mark Gagnon. Justin Michael Gagnon, magna cum laude. Wesley John Gallant. Anna Kathleen Gamble, summa cum laude. Bay Elizabeth Gammons, cum laude. Emma Bronwyn Garcelon, summa cum laude. Daniel James Gavigan. Brendan Kelly Geiger, magna cum laude. Mackenzie Doe Galler. Catherine Ann Goodale. Yana Ashlyn Griffiths. Madeline Grace Groen, cum laude. Kaylee Ann Grogan, magna cum laude. Catherine Guerra Amaya. Jennifer Sarah Gurin. Jasper Konane Geyer Stevens. Taylor Nicole Hale, cum laude. Sophia Alexandra Hall. Jordan Tremaine Hamilton. Kiyu Anika Hampton. Rachel Marie Harris. Tristan Joseph Houghton Darima. Alexis Marie Havrilla. Jenna Margaret Hayden. Grace Hayward. Megan Elizabeth Healy. Emma Oliver Heinz. Mariah Lee Heist. Riley Olivia Clement Heist, cum laude. Megan June Hemmerlein, magna cum laude. Neil Joseph Henry, cum laude. Agnes Dahlia Hermanton. Yamile Cristina Hernandez. Aiden Patrick Hickey. James Matthew Higgins. Dylan Thomas Peter Hillman. Adam James Hinthorn. Aaron Huang, magna cum laude. Michael James Holston, cum laude. Julia Kiko Haribe. James Juster Horn. Gabriella Ruth Halsey, summa cum laude. Sean James Hurlbert. Quinn Elizabeth Hurst, cum laude. Rachel Renee Aifola, magna cum laude. Chanel Ericosi. Mackenzie Richard Irving. Julie Ann Januskis, cum laude. Kyrie Malloy Johnson, cum laude. Ross Alwi Johnston. Boniface Capena Kabongo. Katana Marie Khalil. Gabrielle Mason Carr. Jody Sophia Katz. Cassandra Rose Kenny, cum laude. Nina Elizabeth Kenny. Carolyn Kickham, summa cum laude. Andrew Michael Kimball. Francis Stephen Kimball, Jr., magna cum laude. Eric Adam Cogan. Haley Alyssa Kohler, magna cum laude. Michael Robert Christie. Jeanette Kathleen LaLouche. Abigail Christina Landers. Alexa Barrett Lanigan. Kristen Marie Lavieri, cum laude. Michelle Karen Lavieri, magna cum laude. Hannah Ashley Lavoie, magna cum laude. August Zermack Leach, cum laude. Joshua Michael LeBlanc. Eleanor Rachel Levine, magna cum laude. Carly May Lewis, summa cum laude. Cho-Wee Heather Lee, magna cum laude. Carrie A. Lebret. Allison Victoria Lilienfeld, cum laude. Fiona Faye Lynn, magna cum laude. Jiting Margaret Liu. Jennifer Marie Lonergan, summa cum laude. Joelle Lopez. Caroline Sarah Magna Vita. Katrina Veronica Manalulis. Maggie Jane Mantis, magna cum laude. Brandon Adriel Marmolejos. Stephanie Walsh Martin. Jessie Alexandra Martinez. Luis Severo Mateos Bobo. Connor John Mathis. Maria Carlene Matrango, magna cum laude. Karen Elise McCarthy. Pilar Harriet McCarthy. Austin Connor McCarthy Kelly. James George McFadder. Elise Margaret McGovern. Kevin Ellis McGrath. Jordan Davis McKay. Ryan Jackson McKeon, cum laude. Catherine McLaughlin. Renee Christine McNary. Allison Kathleen Miette, cum laude. Georgia Forbes Mikalovic, magna cum laude. Sage Adrian Marie Michaud. Charlotte Lucy Middleton, magna cum laude. Allison Paige Miller, cum laude. Olivia Rose Milne, cum laude. Alessandra Luigi Mistri, cum laude. Joseph Philip Mitchell III. Victor Vieira Moitenho. Opal Vanessa Morris. Redding Mackenzie Morse. Erin Quinn Moynihan. Keegan Carr Murphy, cum laude. Jalen Juan A. Neely. Sierra Michaela Nolf, cum laude. Claire Elise Ober. Samantha Shea Marie O'Connor, cum laude. Lena Carolyn O'Flynn, cum laude. Elizabeth Grace Oliveira. Rebecca Ann Oliveri, summa cum laude. Luke Merriweather O'Neill. Kathleen Lee Orisha, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Palmer, cum laude. Johanny Amber Paulino. Camilla Christina Peterson, magna cum laude. Catherine Marie Peters. Emma Ann Peterson, cum laude. Griffin Adler Fanoof. Tiffany J. Philamy. Toriel Fusho Popstein. Aaron Jefferson Portnova. Kristen Alyssa Poe, cum laude. Xavier Ade Powell. Angelia May Powers, magna cum laude. Logan Alexander Pruitt. Gabriel Wentworth Putnam. Alexander H. Radulovich. Sahilia Ramirez. Janaira Ramirez Felice, cum laude. Justina Ramlikin. Alyssa Rose Ram, summa cum laude. Olivia Violet Haddon Ray. Quinn Moorhead Redmond. Alexa Resitar. Emily Marie Reynolds, cum laude. Craig Anthony Reza. Andres Jefferson Ripley. Benjamin Ellison Robinson IV. Andreina Rojos Medina. Francis Felix Rosa, magna cum laude. Lucas Anthony Rosa, magna cum laude. Rebecca Lee Rosenthal. Galicia Roth. Dimitri Rumliatos. Derek Ruin. Langiran Ruin, cum laude. Christopher Jace Rocco. Michael Andrew Sadowski. Sandra Elibeth Salazar. Zara Ayana Salmon. Benjamin Joseph Sarrett. Rachel Elizabeth Savage, magna cum laude. Thomas James Shavani, cum laude. Andrew Gardner Schofield, magna cum laude. John Thomas Siegel, magna cum laude. Amara S. Tise. Emma Rachel Shackett, summa cum laude. Emily Hughes Shaw, magna cum laude. Shi Shen, cum laude. Nina Jill Shepperson, cum laude. Kayla Adriana Faye Cipher. Elizabeth Lynn Saroyce, cum laude. Iji Enid Skiffington. Nicholas Aaron Smelser. Adriana Taylor Smith. Kendall Francis Smith. Nicholas Edward Smith, magna cum laude. David Joseph Sonsky. David Jacob Sorkin. Hannah Elizabeth Southard, magna cum laude. Daniel Jacob Sutherland. Deborah Lorraine Spivey Green. Ethan Brett Stark Miller, magna cum laude. Emma Grace Steffens, cum laude. Alexandra Elizabeth Steinberg. Samuel C. Stevens. Elspeth Marilyn Stewart. Winston Dakota Stewart. Christy Lee Sullivan, cum laude. McGregor James Sullivan, magna cum laude. Anna Edith Tanelski, summa cum laude. Carly B. Taveras. Sabrina Lauren Tedeschi, cum laude. Kyla Rain Teeters. Evania Maria Joy Thompson. Riley Virginia Thompson, cum laude. Simone Jordan Thorne. Anna Claire Trammell. Krista Noel Tremonti. Tenzin Sering. Anna Lisa Van Ray Mortel, summa cum laude. Fioni Zoid Barudaki, cum laude. Constantine George Euthenios Vlakovas Katrubas, magna cum laude. Amanda Evelyn Walker. Yushen Wang, magna cum laude. Zi Wang. Crystal Nicole Watkins. James Harlow Wegener, magna cum laude. Alexandra Isabella Weimar. W. Douglas Wary, summa cum laude. Scott Robert Weir. Liam Malloy Williams. Abigail Bond Wing, magna cum laude. Eric Johnson Wisniewski. Molly Rebecca Wheaton. Matthew Ryan Walrath. Justin D. Wass. Emma Matilda Wynn, summa cum laude. Si Shu, summa cum laude. Zaishen Zhu. Shito Yong, summa cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Zach. Joanna Olivia Zach. Malik Adele Zaza. Sheng Zhang, magna cum laude. Hiyun Zhao. Su Zelda Zhao. Ziang Zhao. Ruth Ann Zientek.
It is with great pleasure and pride that I salute you, the class of 2018 and Wheaton's newest alumni. Welcome to the Alumni Association. Since it's official, you may now switch your tassel from the right to the left. You are a graduate. I would like to call upon Jane A. Martin, class of 74, parent 2011, to welcome the class of 2018 to the Alumni Association.
President Hanno, fellow trustees, honorary degree recipients, alumni, parents, and you, the class of 2018. As president of the Wheaton College Alumni Association, it is my honor and privilege to formally welcome you as the newest members of this association of over 19,000 members. Would the 2018 class leaders, Khadija Muheto and Jasmine Silva Jones, please come forward to present your class banner. The creation of class banners began in preparation for Wheaton's sesquicentennial in 1984. Before that, student volunteers made banners for the classes of 1900 to approximately 1920. But all later classes made their own, either as they met for a reunion or after they graduated. Today, I proudly accept your class banner on behalf of the Alumni Association, and may you gather behind it and walk in the procession for many years to come. What does it mean to be alumni? History, pride of place, family legacy, allegiance to one's class. These all help define this curious Latin word. Whether you graduated in 1953, 1978, 1993, or 2018, we all share Wheaton's history. And no matter how unique your own experience is, I guarantee others have walked this same path, just maybe not in the same decade. If you were a member of the Wims or the Wheatons at any time in the last 75 years, you probably sang in the Slipe at midnight. Or maybe you were one of the baseball teams that played in the Division III World Series, and as a senior, you weren't able to be here for commencement. Perhaps you experienced Wheaton walking backwards around campus as an admissions guide, or you spent a summer here doing research for a professor. Maybe you were a Fulbright, Watson, or Balfour scholar who traveled the world with your academic skills in your toolkit. And over a period of over 40+ years, many of us have shared a classroom with Tim Barker, Alex Bloom, Beverly Clark, Sam Cole, Andy Howard, John Kreischer, and our very own alum, Alita Pasterlandis, class of '69. How many of us have felt the womb-like safety of a carol in the stacks of the library late at night? Or wandered over the bridge across Peacock Pond after an early morning run? You see, whether you graduated in '73 or 2003, we are all part of Wheaton's history. Today, you saw the legacy of classes walk before you, and they walked through the path that you created, and then, as is fitting, you followed behind them, the newest members of a long and elegant story, which began with the inception of the Alumni Association in 1869. Several years ago, then Dean of Students Lee Williams called me at home and asked for my help. She said, "There's a sophomore I'd like you to meet, because I think he's really the kind of student who epitomizes and is Wheaton." That meeting began a wonderful friendship with Ben Gagnon. Ben has persevered through a number of challenges. He had to take a leave of absence from Wheaton to cover overwhelming financial challenges. He worked a lot of jobs in his home state of Maine, and he attended classes there. But through it all, his one and only focus was to return to Wheaton and to graduate. Well, Ben, you did it. I hope you heard me cheering as you walked across the stage. All of the trips back and forth to Maine this past year have paid off. You are now a Wheaton graduate and a Wheaton alumnus. I hope in the coming months and years you will continue to give your prodigious talents and energy to Wheaton. Congratulations, my young friend. Thank you for letting me be part of your impressive journey. I have no doubt there are many success stories like Ben's here today, and I applaud and cheer for every one of you. You all are the best of Wheaton. Finally, I want to thank the class of 2018 for your first gift to Wheaton. You have stood on the shoulders of those who graduated before you. Now it is your turn to offer help to future students by giving back to Wheaton. volunteer as a class officer, become a member of the Alumni Board of Directors, or perhaps even an alumni trustee. We need your enthusiasm, discipline, intellect, and love of Wheaton. This is and always will be your home. So to each member of the class of 2018, I welcome you to this big, unruly, loving, and amazing body known as the Alumni Association. We look forward to seeing your banner hanging in the library, and we look forward to welcoming you at Wheaton events nationwide and worldwide, in New England, and of course here on campus. You are now part of the legacy. We are all Eliza's children, and I look to you all to carry Wheaton's message out into the world. Good luck and congratulations.
So some housekeeping things before we get out of here. It's time now for the ceremonies to close. And first, I invite Shicho Young up to return to sing leading the singing of the Wheaton Anthem. Come on up, Shicho. At the completion of the anthem, please remain seated during the recessional while the platform party, graduates, and faculty are led out by the Clan Sutherland Bagpipe Band, the same way you were led in as first-year students. During the recessional, we ask that families and guests remain at their seats to allow ceremony participants to exit. Once the graduates have moved past the entire seating area, you are welcome to move around freely. After the ceremony, please feel free to utilize the decorations in front of the stage, as well as the Wheaton background in the far corner of the field house for photos with your graduate. A takeaway lunch will be available for pickup in the Mars Science Center right near us, as well as directly across from this building. Will everyone please rise and join in the singing of the Wheaton Anthem?
We lift our voices, let them ring, with grateful gladness let us sing, joining with others far and near, with old and young we gather here, to celebrate the gift they gave, our founders with their vision brave. We sing of these who care to sow the plentiful harvest that we know, seeing above horizons then a woman's life beyond their ken. They strove for freedom of the mind, a bright new world for womankind. We hear their story strong and feel they worked and prayed and planned anew. Through many toils, a dream to save, a fuller life to us they gave. We sing their praises, may we too abundantly live in all we do. Live in the dream and dreaming to share with men of founders' vision rare, risking the storm